They send our children to Syria. They have created delivery networks. I apologize to you. We have so far prevented 6,000 people from taking a trip and have destroyed the networks. But we were surprised to be accused of being anti-jihad. We were surprised that human rights organizations complained that we were preventing the transporting of these people. Let me tell you why we do it. Our young men are deployed on the front lines and are taught how to kidnap, steal, and raid villages. Our children are at the peak of their youth. I apologize to you for uttering these words. Our daughters are there to perform coitus for hundreds and thousands of times, and when they bear the fruits of these sexual acts in their wombs, they are sent back to us. All this is done under the pretext of the so-called married jihad, while we are just watching them. This is just a small part of the issue. We have arrested 86 people who have been sent there. The last one was arrested 2 days ago. This is apart from the 6,000 young people that we have saved. They are helpless sisters, widows, mothers of lost boys and girls who come to us at the Interior Ministry and a stage is sitting.
My name is Ines, and I have been to Syria from January 2013 till June the same year.
Tunisia, where the Islamic awakening first arose, is a world away from extremism of any kind. Yet, there are wild rumors flying around that more than 6,000 Tunisians are in Syria and Iraq, fighting shoulder to shoulder with Takfiri militants. The rumors also have it that among the Tunisian comrades in arms, there are a bevy of girls and young women, an issue that has caused many raised eyebrows. At the Islamic Association of Dar al-Hadith, Sheikh Farid al-Beji is refuting Takfirism, an unorthodox belief that classifies all non-practicing Muslims as kafirs or infidels.
Any Muslim, no matter however many cardinal sins he commits, would never be an infidel. However, he would be considered a sinful servant who has done wrong, but he is yet a Muslim, as it is written in the book Sahih al-Bukhari. Religious speeches in Tunisia, particularly after the revolution, have been plagued by some sort of tension which has resulted from the public disorder and lawlessness that came with the revolution. Not to forget that Wahhabis have entered and traveled across the country. Many of their speakers and recruiters took over the pulpits of mosques and some other media. Unfortunately, at the beginning of their political activities, they gained this coverage that enabled them to build these instigating communities to recruit and send our youth, both girls and boys, to the war in Syria. They left to fight in Syria. Due to the chaotic security situation at the borders, they first entered Libya and then entered Syria via Turkey. The sad part is that our intelligence studies, which I personally follow, show the participation of our very young girls in this matter. Most of them set off on this path accompanied by their brothers or husbands. The majority of them are not alone on this path. The number of young women who were by themselves was very small. They go there with only one intention in mind: to get married legally and lawfully. But when heavy fighting takes place and lives are lost, they don't let women stay widows. They don't even let them pass their Edda period before remarrying them to another fighter. Therefore, they don't even observe religious rules and regulations and have changed them according to their whims. They would tell our girls that their participations in such marriages is an honor for them and that it is a great opportunity for them to get married to Takfiri militants. They were told that this way they could participate in Syria's fighting. They addressed both young men and women as their audience, since in this matter they claim to have faith in equality of the sexes. They distort fatwas and religious orders according to their interests. As we have repeatedly put it, and I reiterate it here again, the Arab world and Syrian nation are paying a hefty price. Also, such massacres and infighting would make us forget the main issue, which is the matter of Palestine.
Taysir is living in a suburb of Tunis, the capital city of Tunisia. Having a poor understanding of Islam, she fell for a male classmate at university, who manipulated her into going with him to Syria.
I was a sophomore student in literature when the revolution took place in Tunisia in 2011. Many things changed in my country because of the revolution. One was religion and the other one was political standings. Many of the social, political, and religious structures changed, and as a result, people got influenced by the changes as well. One of the table-turning changes was that concerns over hijab were eased, and everyone picked up their own Islamic coverage according to their tastes. Many young girls started wearing hijab without being afraid of persecution or harassment. At that time, I got closer to some of my classmates who had religious views and were observing hijab. Little by little, I asked them questions about the things I was excited to know more about. Gradually, I learned different things and found them thrilling. I finally chose hijab.
University of Tunis, Faculty of Human and Social Sciences. The campus is crowded with angry students protesting against a new decision that bans female students with a niqab from taking part in final examinations. While the faculty claims that the new decision is to prevent imposters from the exams, the students regard the decision as religious discrimination against Muslim students. The atmosphere is charged with tension. Among the crowd, a group of extremists are fishing in troubled waters. They are trying to win the trust of the girls and push them little by little into a trap that might ruin their lives forever, into what is known better as the so-called Jihad al-Nikah, or sexual jihad.
At that time, when the problems of the country were getting more serious, such issues infiltrated our university as well. There were many strikes, sit-ins, and events organized by students. Part of the protests was in response to two of our girl students being denied entry to sit for the exams because they were wearing niqabs. They demanded them to reveal their faces. The strikes were organized by students, but some religious and pious people also joined them from outside of the university. They believed that these ladies were quite as well entitled to participate in the classes and sit for the exams. During the strikes, I got much closer to pious people and established strong rapport with them. We got closer to each other and held religious classes on religious principles, Sharia, the Holy Quran, and the Sunnah. This way, we quenched our thirst for Islamic knowledge. After a while, I met one of my classmates who would usually teach us religious studies. He was seemingly pious, modern intellectual, who was aware of the politics and social issues and enjoyed a high standard of civilities. He would constantly teach us new things and would provide us with easy books and passages so that we could broaden the horizon of our religious knowledge. That was particularly useful for me, who even after donning hijab still didn't have a comprehensive grasp on religion.
The Islamic awakening in Tunisia had fired young people's enthusiasm for Islam. But the downside was that some extremist groups could recruit their forces all in the name of pure religion.
The most important hadith that we would hear at those times were the ones by the Prophet, peace be upon him. There is this one in which he says that my nation divides into 70 sects, of whom all but one will enter the fire. I used to think that we were that one righteous sect, because we were the only sect who had followed the right successor and thus was the only one immune from the fire of hell.
The fiery rhetoric of Wahhabism appealed to a wide audience, most of them with little or no knowledge of Islam and Islamic teachings. The speeches aimed mainly to brainwash young people.
Today, I know the true meaning of Wahhabism and Salafism. At that time, we were under the illusion that we were right and that we would all go to heaven and that all those who opposed us were infidels and simply did not follow Islam. My relations with that classmate continued and we kept exchanging books and knowledge. And when the opportunity presented itself, he proposed to me. I informed my family, but they were totally against it. I had changed. I was aggressive. I could no longer care about my studies. I could feel that he was even more anxious than me. I quit studying and removed myself from my social surroundings. But my family remained adamant and disapproved of the young guy. When I told him that my family would not approve of our marriage, he suggested that we get married without their permission, but otherwise Sharia-bound, and also that we didn't have to register our marriage. I accepted it. They persuaded me that this type of marriage was religiously lawful. The things that I planned to do after the marriage and the goals that I was pursuing encouraged me to agree to such a union. My spouse and I could leave for the so-called jihad in Syria. This was my main stimulant and encouragement since it was of great interest to me, and for months I had been studying and watching videos, CDs, and websites on how to fight.